Okay, today is July 7th, 2023. My name is John. I moderate the BYOB trading room. So let's just go look at the 5+5 real quick. Okay, what I do like are these three right here. I like Apple, I like Global Payments Network, and I like PayX. So let's go take a look at those on the charts and see if we can extrapolate something that would benefit us. So we like Apple. It's got a nice daily uptrend. It's been going on for about 4 months now, actually since January, but we're breaking up over these highs here. So I like Apple. Good morning, Muthu. And I think I might come up with a plan to buy Apple. It's in the 3/8 trap right here, looking good. It's a possibility for a trade today. We'll see what's going to happen with the market. So I like Apple. I like Global Payment GPN. It's a little bit different. It was in a downtrend and it's now breaking out of its uptrend. I'm watching the BOP come up over this section right here. It's got a rising 3 EMA on the BOP, on the balance of power. I like that. We got rising volume. I like that. So I like GPN on a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP, of course. So there's one to look for on the 10-minute chart if you get a 10-minute uptrend. And let's go take a look at PayX. Another little 10-minute uptrend, produced the higher low right here. It's up to produce the higher high, was up there once earlier, got rejected, recovered over 50% of that fallback right there. And you can see here's the pullback. We've recovered over 50% of this pullback into the higher low. We've got a rising 3 EMA and a rising BOP. I like that. Again, 10-minute chart, 3/8 cross over VWAP is going to be something I'm going to be looking for in PayX. So GPN and PayX, I'm looking for that 3/8 cross over VWAP. Same with Apple. I'll be looking for the 10-minute chart. Here's yesterday's performance of Apple. Good morning, Julie. So if you got the 3/8 cross right here over VWAP, you really had a nice trade. Let's say you got in on this candle right here. You had to wait 30 minutes for things to take off, but you went from 190, up to 192. Not too bad. About 190.50, let's just say 190.30, right about there. I would say you got at least half the candle of that. I'm talking about this candle right here. And it went all the way up to the high. Actually closed the day about 192. So you got $1.50 on that one. That was a pretty nice trade on the 3/8 cross over VWAP. The 10-minute chart kept you in that all day. Now, if you managed on the 15, you didn't even come close there. So you see, you enter. If we'd entered on the 10 and managed on the 15, you were in that. Actually, you're in it today. You're still in it. Still in a nice uptrend over VWAP. So there's three charts that I like. Now, everything on the bullish side of the 5 bulls, on the 5+5, that's 5 bulls and 5 bears. These are all handpicked by me, okay? And I picked them because they had to have either a rising or a flat BOP. All right. So the 3 EMA was rising and the BOP was rising. Here you got that Rastafarian look right here with the red, yellow, green. But I picked all of them on the bulls 5+5. That's on the bullish side. All right, they were picked because they had rising 3 EMAs on. Now, which time frame did I use? I used the 65-minute. Okay, those came out of the 65-minute search engine right there, and they had a rising 3 EMA, and that's the 3 EMA on. Well, this is the 9, but it has a rising 9 EMA on the balance of power on the 65, but the 3 is definitely rising up over it. So that's why I picked those on the 65-minute time frame. The BOP was rising up out of that. So all those on the bulls list are something that I selected. I handpicked out of the yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was a 9 EMA on there, but the 3 is crossing over on those. That's what I like about it. I need to add that 3 on there so you can see the crossover of the 3 and the 9. So that's why I picked almost all of those on the bullish side of the 5 bulls and 5 bears. And actually, I'm going to keep it that way. If they don't pass that, test, I don't think I'm going to add them into it. So there's Apple. Apple's looking good. We're looking for a 10-minute uptrend over VWAP again on Apple. And same thing with GPN, if you feel like playing it. Looking for a 3-minute cross over VWAP. I'd be looking for that there. And on PayX, a 3-minute cross over VWAP. All 3 look good. Nice rising BOPs right there on those 10-minute charts. And on the 65-minute chart, notice still nice rising BOPs. Like that. I like that look right there. All right, so let's go take a look at the SPY. All right, so let's take a look at daily chart first. Let me pick up a cleaner chart. And we're on the daily, and you can see on the daily chart, we came back to challenge the midpoint, and we're kind of waffling around in yesterday's price action right now. Now, yesterday before close, I picked up bear call credit spread just as a hedge. Picked up about 30 of them just to hedge it. I'll probably close it out more than likely first thing in the morning. But we'll see how things go. If things continue to degrade, I'll keep it on until I see that bullish cross of the 3/8, the 3 crossing the 8 on the 10-minute. So there's the SPY. SPY's looking good. Came back to the midpoint. Now the question is, the midpoint going to hold? It obviously held yesterday, as you can see the spike. And we closed up well up over the midpoint on the SPY on this pullback right here. Here's the high. Here's the low. There's the pullback. There's the midpoint. So SPY looking bullish. And if we check it out on the 10-minute, yesterday we had a 10-minute uptrend. Let's check it out on the 30-minute. 30-minute was trying to get an uptrend, still no higher low or higher high yet. So all we had was a 10-minute uptrend. Notice the 30-minute is still red on the trendicator balls. And they're trying right now to start that 15-minute uptrend right here over VWAP. So we'll see how this is going to play out. Nothing might happen until maybe not till 11 o'clock. Today is options expiration, and I'll review that in a few minutes. So they almost started that 15-minute uptrend. Couldn't quite get it going yet. So let's take a look at, that's the SPY. And let's take a look at the QQQ. And we'll look at that on the daily. All right, here's your lot. Here's your high. Here's your higher low. Again, a spike into the midpoint, and we'll see where they're going to go from here. So there's the QQQ. Still bullish on the daily. Just having like a little 10-minute pullback in the daily chart. And you can see we went up here and it almost looked like we double topped. So we got this pullback to the midpoint. So now we'll see what they want to do with it now. If they want to test the low again, or they want to go up and test the high. So we'll see what happens with the QQQ. IWM. All right, so here we are with the IWM. It's still in a bullish uptrend on the daily chart, but it sure is challenging it right here. All right, so you push that in right there. It's getting a challenge of that daily uptrend. Notice the trend indicator balls are red. The 3 is underneath the 8 EMA there. This is yesterday's price action. A tail, it's underneath the midpoint too. We had a tail spike into the trend line. This would be our trend line. Tail spike into that. And so far in the morning, this morning, we're trading inside yesterday's price range. So we have a negative BOP of 43. We'll see how things play out this morning. So there's the IWM starting a 30-minute downtrend here. Notice we got a low, lower high, lower low. So we have a 30-minute downtrend into the trend line here. Notice on the 30-minute, it is rising up out of there. So there's a possibility for this to go back up and test the midpoint, maybe sometime today, or come back and test the lows. We'll see what happens. Back to the SPY. My morning pivot for the SPY is, where did I put it? Well, my morning pivot is 439.60. And how I got the 439.60, we gapped down to this area right here. And as you can see, we traded up to and around 439.60 right here. Right about there. Okay, you can see price action came down. This is their way they're trading up and around underneath it, and then on top of it, and then underneath it right here. So my pivot's 439.60. Below 439.60 on the SPY, I will be bearish. Above it, I'm going to be bullish. Good morning, Mike. Good morning, CJ. Good morning, Mike. So there's the SPY. We did the QQQ. We did the IWM. Now let's take a look at the diamonds. Diamonds on the daily chart. We got kind of an M pattern happening right here. Now it would be normal for price action on an M pattern. This would be the battleground right here. This area right there is going to be the battleground. So it would be normal for price action to come down on this 336.70 and right there kind of pause and grind away at coming lower. So possible plan of action right back here at the apex of the M pattern. Think about it. You decide whether you want to do it. Is take the diamonds, and because it's moving down and you expect it to bear flag over, of course I expect it to bear flag over, not quite pass through this, because obviously there were bulls right here before, and I would expect some bulls to be right here again. So we've obviously got bears up here that force it down, and we've got bulls down here that are trying to force it up. So a possible plan of action, and you think about it, whether it makes sense to you, would be, because the last move was down, would be to do a bear call credit spread right here with the top being over here. This would be your short strike up here, and your long strike would be just over it. and a bear call credit spread, expecting this to move sideways in a bear flag pattern before finally passing through. There will be a battle in this area right here, and let the battle play out. As the battle plays out, time will decay, price will decay, and the bear call credit spread should increase in value at that time. So there's a possible scenario right there. You've got the M pattern, and we're back down here at the apex, or the concave section of the M pattern to play the bear call credit spread right here in this area. So think about that. If you think about it, that would be a possible group trade, John. If you're paying attention or you hear me, think about that one. If you like that one, let's try it. So let me cross that off. I'd be interested in doing that one. So there's the diamonds. Now let's take a look at the SMH. Okay, SMH kind of doing the same thing the diamonds are, not quite able to make the higher high here. So we're getting kind of a rollover, almost a head and shoulders look. Just keep an eye on it. You've got shoulder, there's the right shoulder, there's the left shoulder, and here's your head up here. And we have a neckline that is right through here. So breaking that neckline, and we could come tumbling down. So we'll see if this neckline is going to hold today. So we're going to kind of want to watch this SMH for how it holds up here in this pattern. So also you got the M pattern also playing out. And if you look at the M pattern, let me get my marker, comes up, down, up, down. Again, might be good to play the bear call credit spread as time decays while price decides how it's going to move through that neckline. This will be the battleground area. Obviously, bulls were here before. Bears are up here. So I would expect price to probably consolidate into a triangle this way, and playing the bear call credit spread as price decays and time decays would obviously generate some profits for the SMH on a bear call credit spread coming through here, expecting price to stall right through here, here, and here before the victor is declared, and the winner is either going to come in and win or lose. One of them's going to win, one of them's going to lose. So there you go. There's SMH. So we could do bear call credit spreads in SMH and the diamonds. And if any of you like either one of those, go ahead and speak up. We'll take a look at it, and we'll do some in the group trade. So there's the SMH, still daily on the daily chart. Okay, so if we're going to really look at this, let's just delete this, and let's see if we can draw a trend line in there to see how far we're going to get with this. So I'm going to take a trend line and start it on this point, and I'm going to take it up through there. Now I'm going to create a parallel, and I'm going to drop it in here. So we are coming over to trend right now. Good morning, Alpha Dog. Alpha Dog's up in New Hampshire enjoying the mountain view. If you get to go on the Kangamangas Highway, Alpha Dog, take a scenic ride down that. You will probably really enjoy it. Yeah, he's in the White Mountains. Yep. So there we have our trend line. So we're looking for SMH probably to pull back to trend or move over to trend here as it bounces back and forth like a ping pong ball between inside of this channel. So there's SMH. Let's look at the IYT. Wrong chart. All right, IYT. Daily chart, massively bullish. What's really weird is look at the BOP. Price moving up, BOP is like coming down hard. So there's just a clue. BOP doesn't work all the time. As you can see, we started going up and BOP started coming down. So whether this is manipulation or not, there's obviously some type of divergence happening here in the BOP. Yeah, that's a huge divergence, wouldn't you say, CJ? Yes, Alpha Dog. I think I had Apple on my list early this morning. I added it to the Bulls list right here. Everything kind of set up for that one. So I like Apple. FNGUs also. I don't know if I added the FNGU on there. Let me see. Where we got right here and right here. Yeah, FNGU, Apple, all looking good on daily charts at least. But I like these two. This one, and this one for 10-minute uptrends today. So, yeah, I agree with you on all of those. So there's the IYT, huge divergence on the BOP, but in a nice bullish uptrend. I think we identified this as an MMRP with the igniting candles up, the pullback, and then the move up, and then another looking for another move up. So nice MMRP on the IYT if anyone was able to take advantage of it when we identified it on this one right here. And that turned out to be a 4-day MMRP right there. Nice move on the IYT. I really don't like the divergence though. All right, let's take a look at the XLF. All right, XLF, higher low, slightly higher high. Whether we're going to call that significant or not remains to be seen. But let's just take a look. Let's take the quad lines, move them over, see what where we are in relationship to this pullback here. So there's the high, there's the low, and yeah, I guess we kind of did make a nice higher high, and we pulled back and kissed the midpoint yesterday. So is price action probably might hang out in the middle here for a day before moving up. So I'm kind of expecting all of those charts that pulled back to midpoint to just kind of hang out in a range of where we were yesterday. I'm not expecting any big breakdowns, and I'm not expecting any big breakouts. So I kind of think we'll probably put in like an inside day on a lot of these, the XLF, the SPY, the QQQ, even the FNGU if it did pull back there. So look for those 10-minute uptrends. Don't be surprised if it just melts all day, for half the day and then rallies at the end just to stay inside the price range that we had yesterday. So there's the XLF, still in a daily uptrend, in the middle of a 30-minute pullback. Well, actually, a 10-minute pullback right here. Yeah, we had a 10-minute pullback that crushed 15. Yeah, we got kind of like a 30-minute pullback right here. There's the XLF. Let's go take a look at FNGU. All right, so here we are with FNGU. Let's take a look at the daily. All right, it's moving up. Couldn't quite make the higher high, but it's still in its channel here. Came back and visited the midpoint. Now, this would be normal. All right, this is normal price action. All right, for it to move up through the midpoint. Notice here's your pullback. Move up through the midpoint, come back and test the midpoint, FNGU might head off to these highs today, up around 196. So for me, I'd like to find the FNGU 10-minute cross over VWAP. This is the one I'd probably be watching in addition to Apple, GPN, and PayX, is these two right here. Diamonds and IWM, I'm more inclined to play a bear call credit spread with, you know, the short strike being right over the highs there. So there's FNGU. Nice chart on FNGU, still in a bullish uptrend. Really nice chart there. And you can see we're kind of bull flagging across the top here. And that's fine with me. I'll take the bull flag as long as it comes in here. We'll wait for a moving average to make a connection with it. Let's just see if we got any moving averages in the vicinity. And here's the 20 that caused that. Still needs to make that higher high. Nothing else coming except for the 50. The 50's climbing up there fast. But nice spread in the FNGU with the 200, the 100, the 50, the 34, the 20. Look at all the moving averages totally fanned out here. So nice move in the FNGU. Here they were all consolidated. And then we had the breakout. Huge breakout. We could get a pullback to the midpoint of this move right here. I'm curious where that's going to be. So the pullback's going to be about 134. Wow, that's going to be painful if they decide to come down here and challenge this low. That is a steep drop back to there. We may just melt into that for the rest of the year. Who knows? So there's the FNGU. And we did the SMH, we did the XLF, and that pretty much wraps up the market for us this morning. Again, we're going to look for those 10-minute crosses over VWAP. I'm particularly interested in FNGU and Apple and GPN and PayX. Those four right there. So that's my plan for this morning. All right, so do I have any questions this morning from anybody? Nobody yet? All right, well, I'll turn the recorder off, and I will come visit with you. Amazon? Certainly, Mike. AMZN. Okay. Still nice daily uptrend, part of the FNGU, I think. Not positive. Let me just check my TC2000. I've got an FNGU. Amazon, yes, is actually number 7 in the FNGU. So nice bullish move there, coming up over yesterday's doji candle right there. So this is the beginning of today's price action. Yeah. That's a nice move there. Look for the 10-minute uptrend. Daily chart is bullish. Kind of bull flagging, grinding up to the top there. A lot of tails. Notice there's a lot of tails up here. All right. You get back up there, you're probably going to be there for a little while. All right. But you are still bullish on the daily, just a lot of tails up there. As long as you get those 10-minute, 10-minute uptrends over VWAP, you know, those would be playable. Of course, this big fallout today, you've got a open gap right here. If you happen to get going, if Amazon happens to get going, you've got a nice open gap right in through there. And I would expect some resistance right about 129.76. Okay. So look for that 10-minute uptrend in Amazon and probably ride it up to 129.70, right about there, 129.65. And if it was me and I had it, I would take skin a little profit off there and I'd let the rest ride. Kind of let it have the opportunity to come up and challenge these tails right there. So that's Amazon. Sonny wants to. I like the 10. Okay, I like to enter on the 10, Dennis. So Dennis makes a question. I only care about moving averages on the 15-minute, the 60-minute, and the daily. No, those are just 3 time frames I like to check often. They're just increments. Notice the 15 is probably it's just a smaller time frame than the 60, and the 60 is just a smaller time. The 50, the 100, and the 200. Yeah, basically everything else is too whippy. All right. I mean, if I'm going to play something, it's going to be the 10-minute chart, and it's going to be the 3 crossing over the 8. Yeah, I only care about the 50, the 100, and the 200. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to the 500 or the 400. I have it on there, but it's not till I get to like the daily time frame, then I'm looking at where those are. Now you can see here's the 400 EMA right there. Did price react to that? See that? You can barely see it. It's that light maroon line right there. I can crank it up for you so you can see it easier. Right there. Okay, so there's the 400 right there. Did it react? Yes. But it wasn't, life-threatening for Amazon at that point. Now, maybe others it will be, but I keep it on my chart. For the most part, I'm a 10-minute trader. I'm in, I'm out. I want to grab my profits. I want to go home and have a beer. That's it. So I typically like the 200, the 100, and the 50. Now, I will watch this to see where it's located. So we've got, that's right. We've got employment situation at 8:30, and it looks like Alan shared it with us. Max Payne for today, all right, is about 2-1, and they see Max Payne at 438. All right, so maybe we don't move too far today at all. Maybe it does become an inside day. If 438 is Max Payne, so it's a possibility we just create an inside day to yesterday's price action. What that means is Max Payne will inflict the most pain on calls and puts if price just doesn't move. It just hangs out around 438. So we'll see how that is on the economic calendar. Here's the employment situation. Here's the dollar. Dollar's coming down. That's bullish. Nice move in the dollar today. This is a 6-hour chart. So you can see, you can go back 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. We were up here yesterday, which probably caused us to gap down. Now, whether we gap up because we're back here, I don't know. We'll see what happens. And Alan says 209. Non-farm payrolls are up, not quite as high as they expected it, I guess. Thanks for sharing, Alan. Amazon just kicked off a little bit higher there after the non-farm payrolls came out. We'll take a look at SPY, and then I'm going to go look at Sonny's Tesla. Let's see what SPY's doing in this. Oh, we're jumping. Okay, so we're popping here in the morning. So we are in the middle of a gap on SPY, just a heads up. And the first stop is going to be 441.20. And if we get through that, of course, it's going to be right up here to that tail, 442.25. And then for total gap fill, all the way up here, 443.11. All right, so things are popping on the non-farm payroll. I guess they were looking for something to swing it. All right, so let's go take a look at Tesla. And we're going to go to the daily chart. Tesla jumped up, and now it's kind of holding up here. Still bullish. Yesterday was a pullback. You're in the 3/8 trap, kind of moving up through it. It's a nice green day. I don't know if you play the 3/8 trap, but here you are moving back up through the 3/8 trap on Tesla. So Tesla made a higher low and produced a higher high. Now, whether that's going to be the high or before the next low, or it's going to go off and produce another higher high. So we'll see what happens with Tesla. Tesla's bullish. Again, I like those 10-minute uptrends over VWAP. Nice igniting bar right there. And we'll take a look at, let's go look at MDB. Because I know somebody that likes to play, likes to follow the MDB. So let's look at the MDB on the daily. Okay, we had a pullback. And now we're kind of almost engulfing here on MDB daily. Still bullish. Moving up through the channel here. Trying to hold this area up here. Obviously, you see the tail here. We got a tail there. We gap down. So obviously, there's a lot of bears up here at the 400 level. See the tail makes it gap down. See the tail, and notice we got a green candle, gaps down and trades up, and then the bears push it. You know, every time the bears have been pushing it back down, and then they pushed it down lower here. So here's the bulls pushing this up. This is a nice battle zone. Seeing that, I don't know how long it's going to take before the bears give up. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the 5th candle today. It's a possibility this has a breakout soon. We'll see if today's going to be the day. Nice move up in MDB. No time to short this now. Just let it kind of play out. Nice 10-minute pop right there. Huge. I don't know how much volume that's on, though. But MDB looking good. Still bullish. And take the time. Oh, you're welcome, Sonny. Do I like to buy in the quad 4 in about 80% range? How do I determine that it will move higher out of the quad? Slim, I like to buy right at the midpoint for the bounce. In quadrant 4, I will play them in quadrant 4, but I like the pullback better to the 70, to the upper third. In other words, to the 70% line. And I just eyeball it. I don't have a specific number in line. I just look at where the bulls and bears get together, and they show me where the 70% line is for them. Like, I like those pullbacks to there. I like to see it hold. I like to see it sometimes go down and kind of kiss the midpoint and then climb back into that upper third of the quad lines. And then from there, I'm looking for that 10-minute uptrend for the move back up to the edge of quadrant 4, the top edge of quadrant 4. Yeah. All right, traders, we got Rick's going to be on probably in about 10 minutes. So I'm going to take a 30, 40-minute break. I'll be back on about 9:15. And you guys can run over there and listen to Rick. And I'm going to turn the recorder off.